Hello, my name is Scott Granley. Just wanted to give you a brief update to what is going on with Cars Youth Center. I'm located right now at the Hart Commons in Hart. You'll probably hear some of the traffic going by and some of the noises. But I just thought, hey, this would be an opportunity to be able to share some of the insight of what is going on. So the first thing is we are going to meet with the youth pastors, youth leaders, youth workers. So if this is you, you work in any capacity as a Sunday school teacher or a worker, we are going to meet Tuesday, the 3rd of June at 6:30 at Grace Adventures. Just an opportunity for youth pastors, youth leaders, workers to come together and to begin praying for our teenagers in the area. What I'm looking from this group is that, hey, there's some Bible study groups that are going on at school. There's just organizations that reach out to the young people. Where can they go? Where can they find these things? And so I am hoping to be that hub through Cars Youth Center to be able to go and find at least the name of the organization, the phone numbers, a web page, and if there are the Bible study groups that are going on inside the local school, who do I talk to? What teacher is there that I can go up to and ask about this? We'll have the times and the different schools that are doing different Bible study groups. And just wanted to get that. And so I'm still working on the web page, and then that web page will have that information on there. And so just as we go through these steps, please be in prayer for us as we begin to just kind of go forward with this. This will be, again, an opportunity for us to gather some faces with the names of some other people who are going to different churches and how they're impacting their youth. And then maybe they might have some ideas of some stuff that they've done. And then the second thing is that we want to really work on See at the Pole. If you're not sure what See at the Pole is, it is a time for youth to gather at their flagpole. It's in September on the 4th Wednesday of the month. And I just have really seen a decline with our students going and praying. So we want to have a youth rally the Sunday before, kind of show them what would happen at the See at the Pole. So we'll have, the rally, have some fun, have some games and stuff like that. And then we'll break up into the schools, their sectors. So they can kind of meet some other teens that are from their school. And then they would go through how to pray for their campus, their community, and their country. And then on that Wednesday, it would be another opportunity to see them and go out and greet those people. So we just have a vehicle going by here. So hopefully you can still hear me. And then to go over that, so then just working through that throughout the summer. And then that we can see something in our area through the See at the Pole. And then the third thing is that just looking at taking the group of youth pastors and having some guest speaker each time that would come in and then share about their ministry, share about how they can help out with youth. And then we have some other people that will come in and just kind of share what aspects they see that's going on with the youth in the area. So each month we'll have a guest speaker. So hopefully if you can't make this first one on June 3rd, we'll announce where the next one will be. We're not going to always be at Grace Adventures. We're going to try to move around the cities here so that, one will be in Hart, one will be at Shelby, one will be in New Era, just so that we can move around to the different churches. And so if the driving always gets to be a little difficult, we're going to try to see who can host us for our next one. We'll keep you updated on that. But I did want to share before I close here is just a verse that some of us have life verses that have really impacted us. And so I just wanted to share my life verse. It's Hebrews 11:25. Hebrews 11:25 says, choosing rather to suffer the affliction with the people of God than to enjoy the pleasures of sin for a season. And so I just wanted to go through a couple things of why that verse has been so impactful and why it has been my life verse. I grew up in my family, a non-Christian home, and it was like anything goes. And so as I became a Christian and I got saved, I remember just people, asking me about certain aspects of my life. And I was like, I really need to make sure that I'm the best example that I can be for Christ. And so I just started giving up things that really were taking me away. And I just can tell you that, the suffering that I was doing was not really even suffering. I was not like a part like this was so difficult in my life. but it was just things that I chose not to go through and be part of those things so that I can be a better testimony for others. I think about people who are suffering, truly suffering. We have a lot of martyrs that are over in different countries in China, and just people that are being imprisoned for stating their faith and sharing Jesus, and people that their families have been threatened that they will kill their wife and kids. And then we think sometimes that we're suffering as Christians because we got to give up a few things as a witness. But really, do we really truly suffer? And just to think about Moses when he said this, that choosing rather to suffer the afflictions. I just really challenge us to carry our Bibles, to pray before a meal. Even for teenagers at the cafeteria, to bow down at the table, and they could think that it's such ridicule. Like, what are you even doing? But boy, could we even imagine if we just suffered that little bit of ridicule, just to suffer that little bit of, made fun of, or we brought our Bibles into school and we were carrying it. If we had a shirt that said, that something about Jesus loves you, and then we get a little bit of ridicule and we think that we've suffered so much. But I just don't really see that in America. But choosing rather to suffer the affliction with the people of God than to enjoy the pleasures of sin for a season. I just want you to know that everything that has been brought up before us, it just has a season of its impact. We get involved with something, and then pretty soon it wears out its, enjoyment or that theme of like excitement. I just wanted to share, this will kind of date me here, but we had the Atari game, and so it had a little joystick and a little button that was on the controller, and so that we had Pong, and it was just this little circle thing that would bounce back and forth, and then we had Asteroids, and it just you go back and you look at that, and it was just a little circle of a rock, and you shot with this little spaceship where you had to break that rock apart, and you look at the games now and the real life and how that they show just such graphics on there, that going back to that and living in that and saying, oh my gosh, this Atari is just the best, and living in that time, you would think that at this season this was so much fun, but there's always something else that is exciting, something else that entices. And so I just want us to challenge you with, it's just for a season, it's just for a time. And so as you get into these sinful things in your life, I'm just challenging you right now, would you just give those over to God? Would you say, God, I'm willing to take this right now. I'm willing to suffer. I'm willing to take and put this aside to follow you better. I'm going to start carrying my Bible. I'm going to start praying before I eat. I'm going to start walking as a Christian. I'm going to let people know that I'm a true believer because I'm doing these things for you. And if that's our suffering, if that's the hardest thing that we do, I just challenge you that, you would say, God, I'm willing to do it, and know that it'll be just for a season. All right, we'll see you there if you can make it on that Tuesday. And thank you for listening to this. And just God bless you. And hopefully that you'll be praying for us. And that when you think about us, would you add us to your prayer list and begin to pray for Cars Youth Center. Thank you so much.